This is a battle rap show. This is a show that, like, when I can't, be abreast of what's going on in battle rap. This is first take of battle rap,
right?
To me, you know what I'm saying. So that's the reason why I was so gun ho so ready. But my bad.
Let's get into it.
I'm gonna relax.
Let's talk about that first response.
Yeah.
Because that was the first response.
Yeah.
For New York City.
Yeah.
So your bank account was on check and
yeah, my bank account was not to be continued. It doesn't exist. So it was an opportunity, and back then that's how it was. Like, that's why I never really knock a new artist for coming out on a diss wave, because although it's the wrong way to do it, it is the way you get attention real fast. If a person come from my hood and diss me, I actually understand it. It's just you should have a valid point. You know what I'm saying? Just don't be like, yo, I'm dissing you because you lit. Because then you're a hater. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But so I understood that. And LA, I mean, we were being attacked. Like, New York is not soft, especially not Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? And especially not that time neither.
Yeah.
And I felt like
that time.
No place. But I'm an put the emphasis on Brooklyn because they were really getting it on. And Big, this is real. Like, Big knew his power. Because we originally did the LALA record for a Bad Boy mixtape. Back in the days, they used to do, like, labels used to do mixtapes. So it was Bad Boy's turn, and they hired Clue, and which ironic, I think they hired Clue, and Clue didn't come and get us.
Wow,
like,
weird.
Stretch Armstrong came and got us for his part.
Shout out to Stretch Armstrong.
Stretch Armstrong. So, and I remember seeing Big at the tunnel, and he being like, yo, we went back at them. And he was like, went back at who? And I was like, we went back at the West Coast. And Big just looked at me like, why? And I was like, man, I don't like the way they treating you. He was like, nah, Nore. I don't even think if he knew my name was Nore at the time. He was just like, nah, man, what I'm being accused of is a lie, so I don't even want to defend it. So, and he told me, he was like, it won't make the tape. So I was like, damn, and I was confused. I was young, probably 19 at the time. So
He was like, why we not riding out?
Why Big? Especially Big.
Yeah.
So what happened was Stretch Armstrong had already pressed up the I believe, Stretch Armstrong had already pressed up the tape. So the fact that it wasn't making the Bad Boy tape wasn't going to stop us. So we released it, and it really, every DJ from New York really stepped up at that moment. At that moment, it let us know that everybody was feeling what we was feeling, because they didn't have the ability to talk to Big or connect with Big to see why he wasn't responding.
Right.
We didn't have Twitter back then. Like, we didn't have
it wasn't
like Big could have settled the Tupac beat with an Instagram post.
Right. One time. Yo, do you think about that now? Like what that would have been like. What is he talking about? Boom. Something go up on Instagram.
But back then you got to think about something. When we did a Source article or we did a XXL, that wouldn't come out for 3 or 4 months. Because it would be in advance. So by that time, that subject matter might be old.
Yeah.
So I understood. Now I understood.
Right.
But nowadays, if you say, Nore's fucking sneakers was ugly, I can spawn immediately and say, man, I thought my shit was lit. Or I can be like, man, my shit was probably ugly. Oh, nigga, did you see yours?
Look at my whole collection.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but back then, we just had to kind of take it. And so I didn't understand where Big stood when he told me that at the tunnel.
Right.
But later on in life, when I understood power, I understood that I could point at somebody and
something to happen.
People, or I could say that dude is not a good person, and people who follow me will actually adapt my beliefs. I didn't know that, but Big knew that back then. You know what I'm saying? So that was powerful shit. That's why battle rap is ill, because you guys are trained to know that this is business. For that night, it's business. Like, you're not supposed to punch each other like math. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to.
I like move.
Okay.
I like move. I'm not alone.
Oh yeah, I do remember Mook let me down. I do remember that. But for the most part, like, even me just watching that and me just seeing, and this is a new battle. I've been seeing it on my timeline, and to see that to show the restraint, like that's power in itself. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, especially coming from the hood and you saying some shit and
egos,
and then they saying like me personally, I remember, like, I know this is off subject, but it's on subject. I remember, like, I used to do all the shooting in my hood. Like I literally shot at everybody. When someone shot at me, I was offended because I was like, yo, you don't know I'm the man. I'm the chosen one. I shoot at you.
My job.
Like you're not supposed to do that. And that's a young man's trait. So the older I got, I was like, yo, everybody thinks they're just as ill as me. Like it's not just me who's ill in this world. And that's why I say I respect.
Or maybe you setting the standard.
What do you mean?
Maybe you setting the standard. Maybe people knew that. And they was like, yo, we gotta be like that.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, when they, like my first grades, I got grazed right here. I was like, they grazed me? I was like, yo, like they fucking, do they know I'm not the chosen one? They're like, Nore, you shot at them last week. What do you mean? I'm like, holy shit. But that's real, like, you know, that's why I say the straight in battle rap is just like, it's remarkable.
You being in your position, how do you perceive battle rap and battle rappers?
Like that.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Like,
is it a whole different industry in your mind?
I feel like,
is it together?
It's together. I feel it's part of hip hop.
Okay.
Right.
I feel like it's part of hip hop. I feel like everyone has to have a battle. Like you're not, like, once in your life you had to battle. Whether it was in the schoolyard, whether it was in the yard in jail, whether it was, if you're a real rapper, you had to be tested. Whether even your brother or sister in the house.
Right.
Like that's a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Now living it throughout the whole career, that's something different. That's a profession now. You know what I'm saying? But look at LL Cool J and Kumo D. That was a battle. You know what I'm saying? So
Cannabis.
Yeah, Cannabis. I look at all that shit. And
I was on the phone with Cannabis the other day. That's shout out to Cannabis. I'm gonna just leave it there. We're gonna get into that later. We're gonna leave it right there. Shout out to Cannabis.
I'll tell you something about Cannabis. He was the first person I ever walked in the studio and I seen a computer with. Because at the time, no one really had computers. Like it was two-way pages and shit like that.
He was actually the first rapper to have his own website.
Word? I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. And I remember me just looking at him on the computer and saying, yo, what are you doing on the computer? He's like, I'm writing my raps. And I just knew he was advanced from there. Because most of us didn't even know how to press enter. And and he knew how to write rhymes in the computer. He was advanced. He was advanced over his time.
But getting back to all that shooting, left, right.
Yeah. All over, really. It was not just left, right. Listen, Albee Square Mall was my shit. I used to go to Albee Square Mall. My first front was in Albee Square Mall, you know what I'm saying? And they was frames, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Word.
They had the Gucci's,
I used to, because, you know, my cousin used to be in Farragut.
Yeah.
So I used to go out there. That was a whole different world for me. I used to go, and they used to be like, yo, you know, we're going to go boosting. And I was like, boosting? What the fuck was that? And, you know, they would go, but then it was my other cousins, they would just go robbing in Albee Square Mall. It was a difference.
It was different.
That was a different. Boosting was department stores.
Right.
And then robbing was just go give me your shit. And I was just like, oh, shit. So
wait till these motherfuckers finish shopping.
yeah. Well, go ahead, my bad.
But downtown Brooklyn was crazy.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But left, right, growing up out there,
yeah.
everything. I know you told a whole bunch of stories of things that went on out there. Being from that type of environment and seeing, like, you know, when you responded to what Snoop and these guys was doing, what was the hood's reaction?
Everybody who had money from my hood told me I was crazy, and they said, because you know they knew who Deathrow was.
Yeah.
Like I for lack of a better term, I only knew New York.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I really at that time never left. So all I knew was like Bronx. Like they ain't from the Bronx? No, all right, cool. Like they from Child Linden, right? Like no, like they're from Compton and Slauson. And I'm like, what's that?
Right.
And niggas like, exactly. Like you don't even know who you going at. And we were just like, fuck it. It really wasn't about that. It really wasn't about, you know, the David and Goliath type of thing. It was just about, yo, you know what? We're not suckers. Even if Big don't want us to represent for him, he can't stop us from representing for him. Like he could denounce us and say they did that on their own, but I knew in the long run he
understood.
He understood. He understood. And then you got to remember, right after that, I think Royal Flush dropped the record, and then it caught on fire. Then everyone was responding.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because it seemed like just Queens was responding at the time.
Yeah,
but then a couple of other people joined in. But yeah, that was like our first battle, and I know I'm all over the place, but how me, Daz, Corrupt, and them squashed it. I remember.
Wait, hold on. Before you get there.
Yeah, go ahead, no problem.
You say squash it.
Yeah.
Because rap beef and battle rap is two different things.
This was where we stepped into, which I didn't understand, I didn't know at the time, was East Coast, West Coast beef.
Right.
Which, I'm being honest. That shit was propaganda.
Yeah.
Like, I was in the West Coast hanging with the West Coast. I knew, not me personally. I knew people from Queens that was in the West Coast. I knew people from the West Coast that was there. Mm. But when you opened up a news article, you felt unsafe because of what they was painting. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's what we stepped into, what we really didn't know. We didn't really know that, and it was Pac who said it, because remember Pac said.
In the interview with Snoop, right?
Yeah, he was like, y'all the ones that's doing this.
No. That was before that. Mm-hmm. After that was, he said, well, Mobb Deep, no one of you niggas got sickle cell.
Yeah, okay.
Because what happened, like I said again, we never dissed LA on the actual record.
Shoppers Breeze are ready.
We never dissed them on the record. We just responded because they said New York, New York, so we figured we say LA, LA.
Right.
It wasn't until they made the video. But here's the crazy shit. Here's a legendary story. If you listen to the original LA, LA, you go search it. Prodigy is on there with a verse. He's on the second one. He's on the original LA too.
Right.
With he's on the hook. But the original one, he's on there. He goes, NYC, you and I verse supremacy, Havoc and P, Queens niggas, so it seemed to be mega. Got word back from Noriega, JFK on our way to LA. Man. So he was the only one who referenced LA.
Wow. Right.
So I remember this is the first time I got a call, or Traz got the call, and I was there from a record label, and they said, yo, Prodigy didn't want to be involved with the record. We're heartbroken. We can't do nothing.
With a verse like that.
With a verse like that.
We can't, we're not Capone, we're coming to be Capone Noriega, but we're not Capone Noriega.
Yeah.
So we knew, but like, yo, Havoc's still gonna come. So I was like, all right, cool. That night we got the call, I think that was Thursday, we was filming the video Friday. That night we had to go, like, or maybe it was that week, I don't know, but we had to chop his verse out, make a version without him, and it was that day that Pac dropped.
Wow.
Yo, don't one of you niggas got sickle cell. We got that phone call that morning. Hey, Prodigy wants to do the video. It was like, oh shit, good looking, Pac. Like, it was that fast. Like, it was that, because you know.
He said it's a go. Let's get it.
I swear to God, I was like a day, like from one day it was like, yo, he's not with it, and we really had nothing to say. We really couldn't stop nothing. We couldn't say, yo, here goes some bread or nothing. Right. And it was really the timing of that Pac record. When Pac dropped that, they was like, no, tomorrow we'll be at the video. We throwing people off the bridge. We going to Queensbridge. They was with it. Like, I was like, oh shit. And,
I still remember that video. I mean, the dummy when it fell from the bridge, it looked crazy.
You can tell we had no money. Yeah, it's true. It's true, man. We own up to it. But the point was made. The point was made. Like, yo, look.
Yeah.
This is speaking of Queensbridge, and we really threw the body off. Like, this, I mean, the body off.
That was tragedy.
That was tragedy. Yes.
Oh, man.
We just did tragedy.
The body. He had the cigarette in his mouth.
Mm-hmm. At that time, though,
do
you guys at any point have like marketing strategies in your head at this point, or is it just straight raw, authentic? Like, yo, this is just. It was.
If any marketing was happening at that time, it was trash. But it was really all authentic. It was just like, yo, what would we want from a New York artist at this point?
Right.
Like, and we just was giving them what we thought that what New York was. Like I said, I never thought about even going to Jamaica, the island. Like Jamaica, Queens was okay for me. Like going to Far Rockaway Beach, like, you know, Chocha Beach in the Bronx. Hold on, that was out of town. You know what I'm saying? Like that was out of town. Don't forget me going to Great Adventure. Holy shit, Great Adventure. Great, hey? Oh my God. Like
now you traveled.
Yeah, come on. The Poconos? Oh my God. I never had dreams of Miami. So
that's crazy.
At that, I was real talk. I really was a minute thinker, and I didn't see. So that whole War Report album was a New York state of mind. Like if you listen to the whole War Report album, I really only talk about my hood. I talk about Medina because I used to go to Brooklyn, and that's what the 5%ers would call it at the time. I talk about Bosnia, which we would call the Bronx.
It's fine.
And it was all like
5%
slang. Channel 10 was the actual Capone and Noriega in the West Side Queens. So I mean, was CNN. It was CNN and West. It was Channel 10.
Okay.
So
because I'm CNN, War Report, War Report, Channel 10, Bloodsport.
Okay.
It's Hoffa, trap turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars, I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work, you heard. Making fiends leave earth, you heard. Got your baby mama thirst, you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf, you heard. Told Jim I need a bomb I could drop on you niggas. Bad boy, I'm never gonna stop for you niggas. I don't give a fuck who you got is the illest. I solidify my spot